I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you get the list?
Yes.
Ms. Clerk, if you don't mind reading the roll call, please.
February 13, 2018. Please be advised this meeting is being taped for audio and video broadcast. The meeting will also be closed captioned, and it's important that everyone speak clearly into the microphones and only one person speak at a time. Assisted listening devices are available. Mr. Burnett.
Present.
Mr. Corsello.
Here.
Mr. Sacchinelli.
Here.
Ms. Smith. Here. Mr. Stern.
Here.
Ms. Melendez.
Here.
Mr. Ioannidis.
Here.
Ms. Bowman.
Here.
Mr. Sims.
Present.
Mr. Kites.
Present.
Ms. Siegelbaum.
Yeah.
Here. Mr. Hempstead.
Here.
Mr. Ioannidis.
Here.
Mr. Igneri. Mr. Livingston.
Here.
14 present. You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Clerk. All right, then we have the acceptance of the minutes. All in favor of accepting the minutes and approval of January 23rd, 2018, please raise your hand and signify yes.
Wait, Mr.
I'm sorry.
I'll move it.
Oh, I'm sorry. As you can all tell, I'm not Mayor Harry Rilling. He's a little under the weather, and I will be sitting in his place. Thank you, Mrs. Melendez. Are there any corrections, deletions? Mrs. Bowman?
Yes, so there's a sentence or paragraph as far as Ms. Bowman said. The last page. So we can just amend that out to remove Ms. Bowman said.
Okay, any other corrections, deletions?
I do believe in the roll call, Councilman Hempstead was recorded twice.
There's enough for me to go around.
Okay, great. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes as amended, please raise your hand. Looks to be unanimous. Oh, I'm sorry, abstentions. Let the record show Mr. Sacchinelli has abstained. Okay. Mrs. King, has anyone signed up for public participation?
Lisa Biagirelli, please.
Good evening. Briefly, my name is Lisa Biagirelli. I'm the tax collector for the City of Norwalk. I'm here to speak on behalf of the proposal to name City Hall Drive in memoriam of the late Frank Esposito, our mayor who served for 7 terms. He was our longest-serving mayor. He also had deep ties to the community, to the City of Norwalk. He was involved in many community organizations, civic, fraternal, religious, athletic. He did a lot for the city, and it is the feeling of many individuals that it is important as a community that we recognize particularly noteworthy examples, such as the late Mayor Esposito. I feel it is fitting to rename this small portion of the street near the seat of our government in his honor, to recognize his legacy and to remind people of the contributions that this gentleman made to the city. I have had the pleasure of serving under 4 mayors over the past nearly 18 years, and I have a soft spot in my heart for the late Mayor Esposito. He was a good friend, he was a good man, and I feel that he deserves this. It's the right thing to do. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak who did not sign up? Seeing none, I will close public participation. Next up, resignations and appointments. First up, resignations. We have Richard Rowena from Zoning Commission alternate. Next up, we have Stephen Clockey from Conservation Commission. Would someone like to move that?
I would,
Ms. Siegelbaum?
Mr. Clocky has a very impressive resume, and I think he'll make a great addition to the Conservation Commission. So I nominate him.
Great. Who wants to speak to him? All right, all in favor? It looks to be unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Clocky. Are you here? Give me a little round of applause. I also know Mr. Clocky was a member of the Mayor's Energy Environment Task Force. His credentials are impressive. I think he'll make a great addition to the Conservation Commission. All right, next up we have the name you know, Mrs. Shannon O'Toole Gianderco for the Facilities Construction Commission. Would someone like to move that? Mr. Hempstead?
I'd like to move that. I think Shannon brings kind of a unique experience with her because she did act as an administration and on-site for a lot of construction projects with her tenure and then with the Common Council experience. So I'm glad to see Shannon being active with local government.
I agree. Anyone else?
Yep.
Mrs. Melendez?
Mrs.?
Excuse me? I'm your job.
I served 4 years with Miss O'Toole Gianderco. It was a pleasure to work and serve with her, and I think she's incredibly dedicated to our city, and I think she'd make a really great addition to this commission. So I support this
Mr.
nomination.
Livingston?
Yeah, as a member of the Facilities Construction Commission, I'm really looking forward to having Shannon on the committee. I think she'll be a great addition. I've enjoyed working with her just the one term, but I think she really knows the city and will do a great job.
Great. I'd also like to say I served 4 years with Miss O'Toole Gianderco myself. Where are you, Shannon? There you are. I know you really wanted to get out of the house, and we're lucky to have you. All right, give a round of applause for her. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? Looks to be unanimous. Congratulations. Now let's do it right. All right, next up we have Samuel Pride for Fair Rent Commission. Would someone like to move Mr. Pride?
I would like to move Mr. Pride's nomination.
Mr. Stern.
I've known Sam for a few years now, primarily through his involvement in District C, but he is a committed and enthusiastic citizen of Norwalk with a commitment to participating and helping the greater good, and I think he will do very well in this role.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Stern. Also, I know Mr. Pride very well as well, and he's gotten himself involved, saying he had some spare time, and that's commendable. Congratulations. Oh, there we go. I'm a glutton for punishment. All in favor?
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
I just want to say that I've known Mr. Pride for quite some time, and like everyone said, he's always willing participant to get involved in community action, and I think he would be a great addition to this board as well.
Great. Thank you. Congratulations.
Wait.
Vote.
Vote.
All in favor?
Did we vote already?
No.
No.
Oh, we didn't vote. I'm sorry. Mental. All in favor? All right, the next one I'll get right. Congratulations, Mr. Pride. All right, next up, Mr. Norman Weinberger for the Board of Health. Would someone like to move Mr. Weinberger?
Nominate
Mr. Corsella?
Dr. Weinberger for the Board of Health. Dr. Weinberger has helped raise tens of thousands of Norwalkers. He's had a medical practice as a pediatrician in Norwalk for over 33 years. Talk about knowing a community intimately. Aside from that, he's virtually single-handedly, he conceived, founded, and fostered the Norwalk River Rowing Association. And not only does it give young people and not so young people a great recreational outlet, but it actually, the youth program helps a lot of young people get into our schools. And we're talking, get into top-notch schools, and we're talking about, putting a doctor on the Board of Health who could be more qualified. I think he'll do a great job.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, all in favor? To be unanimous. Congratulations. Next up, we have Colin, excuse me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, Hostin. And for Human Relations, we'd like to move Mr. Hostin.
Yeah, I'd like to move, nominate Mr. Hostin to Human Relations. I've had the pleasure of knowing Colin for just about a year and a half now. He is president of the Village Creek Homeowners Association and is very active down there, and I've got to know him a little bit through there. He's a 10-year resident of the city and has been active the whole time. And before being president of Village Creek, he was also president of the Rowayton Woods Homeowners Association. So he's very active, and his peers recognize his leadership skills and his otherwise community involvement. So I highly recommend him.
All right, all in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations. Okay, the next name up, Mr. Tyrone McLean, has asked us to withdraw his name at this point. He's checking on availability and when, correct. So we'll most likely see this Mr. McLean at a later date. So moving on, we have Mr. Conroy for the Zoning Board of Appeals, alternate. Would someone like to move Mr. Conroy? Mr. Hempstead?
Certainly brings enough years' experience on zoning and government work over there, so I'm sure he'll be just as dedicated as an alternate as he was as a regular.
Great. Anyone else? Great. All in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Conroy. Welcome back. Next up, we have David Hovelman for Zoning Board of Appeals, alternate. Would someone like to move Mr. Hovelman?
I'll move.
Mr. Yernes?
I've gotten to know David over the past year or so. In that short time, I've really gotten to see how not only dedicated and passionate he is about the issues that face our city, but how he can not only see just what's in front of him and really look at the big picture. I think he's a huge asset to the board, and I would love to see him on there.
Great. All in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations. All right, next up, we have Richard Rowena for Zoning Commission, regular. Mr. Stefanis?
I'm going to recuse myself at this time.
Okay, let the record show Mr. Stefanis has recused himself. Would someone like to move Mr. Rowena?
I would like to
Mr. Stern?
move Rich Rowena's name. I've had the pleasure of serving with Attorney Rowena on zoning when he was in his capacity as an alternate. He does his homework. He's always insightful and thoughtful and knowledgeable in his questioning of applicants. As an alternate, though, it was always a challenge for him to participate fully in discussions once hearings were closed. And I know I was always curious to know what Rich was thinking. And I'm very happy that that his name is up for a permanent role. He will hit the ground running. He's ready to do this. He is a impressive young man with a bright future ahead of him, and I look forward to voting for him this evening.
Great. I also like to say I've known Mr. Rowena for many years, and I'm a big fan of his character. Not only that, his profession often deals with items of planning and zoning, so I think, you're going to make a great addition as a full member. So. All right. Mr. Corsella?
Yeah, Mr. Rowena is a well-respected attorney who practices in the real estate field, and that's with good reason, because he's very good at it. We're very lucky to have him serving on the board, on the zoning board.
Mr. Hempstead?
I'm just going to go ditto. His reputation precedes you, as they say, and it's a good reputation. Good addition.
All right. All in favor? Congratulations. Okay, last but not least, we have Lisa Cooper for the Redevelopment Agency. Would someone like to move Mrs. Cooper? Mrs. Bowman?
Yep. So I've known Lisa now for several years. She's worked at the Human Service Councils, and then also she's been on the development for several years. She does a great job in the community. She has worked at the Carver and done a lot of work in the Carver. So I'm glad that she is willing to give her time back and nominating her.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman. Mr. Simpson?
I just echo what Ms. Bowman said. I've known Lisa for quite some time, and Lisa has always been a person that's passionate about the city of Norwalk, and she's always put the city first, and she currently sits on the redevelopment agency now, I believe, and she's been doing a phenomenal job for several years on that board, and I couldn't think of a better person to continue on this role, and I wish her the best of luck in that.
Great, thank you, Mr. Sims. All right, so no other names. All in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Okay. If you all don't mind coming up right now, our city clerk will swear you in, and we'll get your signatures, and we'll be official.
So there's very few of you that I can do kind of quickly, so this can take a few minutes. I'm going to give you, everyone will get a form and just sign 2 copies for me. I will sign them and leave me one and take the second one with you.
Nailed it.
Okay, we'll start with Shannon. You'll raise your right hand. You, Shannon Jean Durko, how many years did it take me? Yeah, you got it. Having been appointed as a member of the Facilities Construction Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, or upon the pains and penalties of perjury? I do. Congratulations. Raise your right hand, please. You, Colin A. Hostin, having been appointed as a member of the Human Relations Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, upon the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations. Thank you all for your service. Who do we have next? We chat on the phone sometimes.
Congratulations.
Okay, if you'll please raise your right hand.
See you next month.
You, David Hovelman, having been appointed as an alternate member of the zoning board of appeals. Actually, we could do both of you together. How about this, right? Because it's the same appointment, right? Okay. When I say you, you say your name. Okay. You, say your name. Having been appointed as an alternate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, upon the pains and penalties of perjury. I will. Congratulations. And David. This one. There you go. Okay. Who do we have next? Hi, Lisa. We haven't met. No.
There's 2 copies. You take one and leave the other.
Raise your right hand, please. You, Lisa M. Cooper, having been reappointed as a member of the redevelopment agency of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, upon the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations. What's going on? One for me and one for you.
Nice to see you again.
Hi.
How you doing? See you again.
Oh, here it is. Stephen.
Hey, thanks. Everything's
You, Stephen Lucky? Yes. Having been appointed as a member of the Conservation Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, or upon the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations. Sign for me. Hi.
The 2 copies. Leave one here.
Having been appointed as a member of the zoning commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, upon the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Right hand. You, Samuel J. Pride, having been appointed as a member of the Fair Rent Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, upon the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations. Sign both of these. Yep. Right here. That's fine. Yep. You've been watching this?
Yes.
Okay, we've got one more. I'll take that one.
Congratulations. Okay. Once again, congratulations to everyone. Next up, we have mayor's remarks. Mayor Rilling had asked me to speak on some items. First one being that prior to this meeting, we had a special council meetings where our finance director reviewed, gave us a great in-depth presentation of the 2018-19 operating budget. We're at the beginning of this process. We hope to, come out and do what's best for our city. Now, next up, just a reminder that February 19th is President's Day, and City Hall will be closed, so I wish everyone a safe and happy weekend. And the last item of business under Mayor's remarks is for Black History Month, and there is a very well-drafted proclamation in front of me that I'd like to read into the record, if I may. Black History Month, February 2018, whereas in 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized February as Black History Month, calling upon the public to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Whereas the theme of Black History Month in 2018 is African Americans in Times of War, which marks the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I and honors the roles that Black Americans played in warfare from the American Revolution to present day. Whereas Black History Month is celebrated throughout the United States with programs and activities that recognize and raise awareness of the many accomplishments of African Americans that have significantly contributed to the growth of our nation. And whereas we honor the many African American leaders who have enriched and played a significant role in our heritage, such as Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, and Katherine Johnson. Now, therefore, I, Harry W. Rilling, Mayor City of Norwalk, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2018 as Black History Month in Norwalk, and in so doing, ask all residents to recognize the valuable role of African Americans have played in the history of our nation. So as soon as he's back, he will sign that. Okay, next up we have council presidents. I believe I'll be wearing that hat as well this evening. If you're in the audience for a specific item, you hear your item read, that means your item has been approved. So you're more than welcome to continue to stay, but you're no longer obligated to. And this evening, Mr. Hempstead will be reading the consent calendar. Mr. Hempstead.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's. Tomorrow. I'll see if I can't peruse this as quick as I did once before. All right. Item A1, authorize the authority for the offer of Commissioner Terrence Cummings versus Jeremy Nash. Consent to table to our next meeting of February 27th. Item A2, authorize the settle bond claim. Not the account is noted, and mayor to execute the settlement agreement, convent not to sue and release. Item 7A1, approve the proposed scope of work for the program Public Improvements to support the Phase 2 Waypoint Development as presented in a Pinnacle Utility Infrastructure and Streetscape upgrade dated January 5th, 2018. Item 2A, authorize the mayor to execute an amendment to the existing agreement with Standeck Consulting Services for the Plan of Conservation and Development to authorize additional services related to the planning peer review of the 230 East Avenue TOD application and increase the compensation payable by the additional $7,500. There's no cost to the city because the applicant will be paying the fees from an escrow account established by the city. And 2B, authorize the mayor of planning and zoning execute an escrow agreement with the applicant 230 East Avenue LLC in order to establish escrow account and terms of payment for the peer review services. Item B1, Public Works, approve the honorary naming of City Hall Drive, Sunset Hill Avenue, Eversley Avenue to the Honorable Frank J. Esposito Way, in memory of Frank J. Esposito, who I served with and certainly deserves recognition. Item B2, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute all required documents related to the execution of the easement agreement between the City of Norwalk and the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation for permanent easement 23060 for the easement of 23,060 square feet to construct and maintain the Railroad Bridge as depicted on the map prepared by the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation entitled Complication Plan, Town of Norwalk, plan showing easement acquired from the City of Norwalk by the State of Connecticut of Transportation, Railroad Bridge replacement dated December 2017. I'm not going to read the scale. Department of Public Works exchange for a payment of $580,000. Item B3, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute all required documents related to execute of the easement agreement between the City of Norwalk and the State of Connecticut Transportation for a permanent easement of 6,098 square feet to construct and maintain the Railroad Bridge as depicted on a map prepared by the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation. It's, all right, for a sum not to exceed $154,000. Item 4, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute all required documents related to the execution of the easement agreement between the City of Norwalk and the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation for a temporary construction easement of 18,700 square feet for the purpose of storage of construction materials and to provide access to the Norwalk River and the land of the State of Connecticut during the Walk Bridge replacement project as depicted on a map prepared by the State of Connecticut Transportation entitled Compilation Plan, Town of Norwalk. All right, the easement acquired from the City of Norwalk by the State of Connecticut of Transportation, Walk Bridge replacement, dated December 2017, for the sum payment of $386,000. Public Works number 5, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute all required documents related to the execution of the easement agreement between the City of Norwalk, State of Connecticut Transportation for a permanent easement of 998 plus square feet to provide access to the Yankee Doodle Bridge structure as depicted on a map prepared by the State of Connecticut DOT entitled Compilation Plan, Town map showing easements acquired from the City of Norwalk by the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation, rehabilitation of bridge number 59, Yankee Doodle Bridge, I-95 of Norwalk and Hendricks Avenue, dated November 2017, on file Public Works in exchange for a sum of $1,050. Item number 6, also the Director of Public Works, execute change orders to the Grasso. No, that's off consent. Sorry, my fault. Item D1A, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with AV Tucci Incorporated for the West Rocks Middle School windows and door replacement project 2018 for a total not to exceed $2,146,088. Funds are available in the account, which is duly noted. And authorize the NFCC to issue change orders on contract for a total sum not to exceed $100,000. Item 2, consent to send back to committee the authorization of the mayor to execute agreement with Silver Petroselli and Associates. That is off. Item 4A, authorize the Mayor W. Rilling to execute an agreement with Sam Moore Cooling and Heating, Inc. for the City Hall Cooling and Fire Suppression Improvement Project for a total sum not to exceed $149,300. Funds are available with a bunch of accounts listed below. Item B, we would authorize Office Building Management to issue change orders on contract for a sum not to exceed $14,903. Item number 5, resolve that Harry W. Rilling, the Mayor of Norwalk, be authorized to execute on behalf of the municipal corporation agreements with the State of Connecticut for financial assistance to conduct a historic resource inventory. Mr. Chairman, that is the consent calendar. I move for its adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Hempstead. If there are no items anyone would like to remove, all in favor in the consent calendar as read? It's to be unanimous. Great. All right, first item up, Mr. Livingston, I believe you'll be reading for Mr. Igneri this evening in regards to item B6.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to I'll just move this and then comment on it. Authorize the Director of Public Works to execute change orders for the Grasso Companies LLC Project RD 2017-2, concrete curbs and sidewalks for a sum not to exceed $162,300. Accounts noted. This is a change order to an existing contract with the Grasso Companies for specified sidewalks in South Norwalk. I just want to remind the members of the council who weren't on board last term that one of the requirements for the Grasso Companies in entering into agreements was that we required that they always be in compliance with the zoning laws and regulations. And as a result, each time we have an amendment to a Grasso contract, we send out Mike Grant or somebody else in this department to take a look to make sure they are in fact in compliance. We have done that, and there is no violation against the Grasso Companies LLC. And since they do good work and have been recommended by Mr. Cemento and department, I'd like to recommend approval of the motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sims.
I'm going to rebut that. I think that the council, we should not be continuing to award the Grasso company additional jobs in the city. This company has not been in compliance for decades, and they have not paid their taxes to the city in almost 10 years. And it seems like this company continues to reorganize when it's time to take action against the company. They'll reorganize and pass on to another family member. And I just think that it's not in the best interest of the city to move forward to continue to award a company like this here with these type of contracts, with municipal contracts, and allowing them to get away, basically not paying their obligation to the city. And they're continuing not to be friendly neighbors to some of the adjoining businesses that is next to them. So for that reason, I will not be supporting this action.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Anyone else? No? Seeing nothing. All in favor? Opposed? Mr. Hempstead, Mr. Sims? Abstentions? Record show Mrs. Coleman abstained. Believe the motion passes. Okay. All right, next up we have item C1, Mrs. Bowman.
Yes. So I'll read the item and then briefly speak to it. So the item is approve revised grants coordinator / communication manager position description and duties. So basically I'll speak to the item briefly. So basically what is happening here is at the mayor's office request and at the request of the mayor, this position is being tweaked to also include communications duties, and the salary range is being lowered. So it is not eliminating a position or adding a position, it is tweaking a current position. So I just want to clarify that what is happening today is the council is being asked to approve the position. The council has no part in selecting this position. That is all solely up to the mayor. The applications will come in. This job should be posted publicly. Applications will come in. This is not a position that the council has a say in selecting the individual. All we're doing today is basically approving a job description. And with that, I'll open it up. Move to item.
Mr. Hempstead?
Thank you. I have some questions about, well, first I'd like to make a statement. Even though I sit on the committee, but I find it incorrect when I say you're tweaking a job description. Tweaking a job description, you may add a line or two to the existing job description. The existing job description is nowhere to be found in this job description. This is written as a communication director and not to be a grant writer. You would have taken the grant writer, left the bulk of it in there, then added in part of their duties would be communication. But I have some questions for Ray, I guess, or somebody who'd ever like to answer it.
I'll do my best.
Okay. I'm trying to understand the sentence that says 2 years of grant writing or equivalent experience is required, but after that, equivalent combinations of experience and training may be considered. So can you expound on that a little?
That is standard language that is in every ordinance position description, words like this that allow the ultimate decision to be made based upon all of the input and criteria that is in here and substitute some training or relevant experience so that we can select the best candidate.
So that would be a weighted issue when an applicant applies. You
That's
can look
correct.
at what they've done
Right.
versus whether they have a degree in it or not a degree in it, have actually done any grant writing or not, or may have assisted somebody in grant writing. That kind of counts.
That's correct.
because when you go to the qualifications profile below, you go to every line item down there, and there's only one line item for grant writing in there. All right? Everything else has to do with communications or the way they must perform their duties. Ability to assist department heads in giving priorities, and I don't know what that means, to grant requirements, developing indirect overhead factors, and identify systems necessary to effective grant management. Can you please?
That language is right from the prior grants coordinator position description.
With a
And-
whole bunch of others though before it, correct?
The position description, just like the intention for the job, has a mixture of the prior grants coordinator position duties, descriptions, responsibilities, and folded into that are the duties, responsibilities of the communications manager function we want this person to provide. So the grants coordinator on the line you picked off, that you pick out, that was what they used to have to do, and we asked them to do as the grants coordinator to assist the department heads in putting together the grant applications that were being processed through the various departments, police, fire, DPW.
So if, looking at the qualifications profile, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's 11 qualifications. Only out of the 11 qualification, only one of them has to deal with grant writing, the way I read this. Everything else has to do with more with communications.
Well,
So I'm just asking a question. So if you're interviewing somebody for this position,
yes.
then certainly it's more heavily weighted if they have experience, equivalent experience or degree in the other 9 items versus one of the items. Would that be fair to say?
I'm not sure that the other 9 items exclusively apply to a communications manager, but we don't have to debate over that. The point of the matter is that a lot of these are just basic abilities that we would want someone to come in and have to do both the grant writing and the communications manager function. Write clearly, speak clearly, communicate well. All of those things are inherent in both of those positions.
I don't have any more questions for you. I'm not going to be supporting this. And I'm telling you, I've been at this 25 years, on and off. And I've never saw special meetings for a position, whatever. In my humble opinion, this is written for some individual that's already out there, handpicked. All right? We are taking a position that should have brought money to the city through grant writing, if properly managed, if properly the right individual, and then turn this into another provision for communication. We are adding a position. You may say you're tweaking a position, but you eliminated the duties of somebody whose full function was to coordinate grants, so understand what the police is writing, understand what the fire is writing, because we always seem to get those at the last minute, and do their own grant writing. I just hope we're just as generous with the Board of Ed's ask for positions that they're seeking, as we are with adding another position and taking away somebody that's going to cost us money versus somebody who potentially has at least be able to earn plus their salary back.
Can I request a brief recess to discuss this?
Okay, recess and debatable. All in favor of, how long would you like this session?
2 minutes.
Why'd you make it 5?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
All in favor of a 5-minute recess? Looks to be unanimous. Call the meeting back into order. Further comments on the personnel item C1? Mrs. Bowman?
Yeah, so in light of comments that were made and through discussion, I'm basically going to make a motion to table this back to committee indefinitely.
There's a motion on the table. On the table. Ms. King, roll call vote?
Mr. Burnett,
Yes.
Mr. Corsello,
Yes.
Mr. Sacchinelli,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Stern,
Yes.
Ms. Melendez,
Yes.
Mr. Ioannidis,
Yes.
Ms. Bowman,
Yes.
Mr. Sims?
Abstain.
Mr. Kides?
Mr. Kides is sitting
Not
in the
voting.
place of the mayor.
Okay.
He's not voting.
Ms. Siegelbaum?
Yes.
Mr. Hempstead?
Yes.
Mr. Cierunides?
Yes.
Mr. Livingston?
Yes.
13 yes, 1 abstention.
Motion passes. Okay, moving on, we have land use item, Mr. Livingston in 4A.
Yes. No, not, 4, I'm sorry, yes.
Mr. Stern?
Mr. Stern.
You mean
You mean, yeah, 3, item 3.
Oh, excuse me, apologize. Item 3.
I will need to recuse myself.
Let the record show Mr. Stern has recused himself.
So I'd like to move the item. It's authorizing the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a lease agreement with Family and Children's Agency for the second floor of Ben Franklin Center, based on a total of approximately 5,732 square feet at $2.50 per square foot per year for utility-related expenses, for a total of $14,330 per year. Lease period shall be from March 1st, 2018 to February 29th, 2020, with 3 one-year renewal option. Remaining terms shall be as outlined in Alan Lowe's memo dated February 1st, 2018, which is in the packet. I know everybody has this, but briefly, this is to be used, well, already the agency uses the 3rd floor. They've been an excellent tenant. We put out a request for proposals for the 2nd floor, which has been vacant. They were the only agency that responded, and they're going to use it for child and family development programs. And I strongly recommend approval.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Looks to be unanimous. Motion passes. Do I have a motion? Ms. Bowman? Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you all.